Hi, welcome back to the Gemara in Gittin Daf Lamed Gimel Amud Aleph. We're going to go through the Tikkun Ha'olam Sugya. Mipnei Tikkun Ha'olam. These are the words from the Mishnah that the Gemara is quoting and then commenting on. So I'm going to highlight these in red to show that they come from the Mishnah. My Mipnei Tikkun Ha'olam. What is Mipnei Tikkun Ha'olam? In other words, what do these words mean in the context of our Mishnah? How is Rabban Gamliel's takana, how is his amendment of the law, accomplishing Tikkun Ha'olam? Rabbi Yochanan Amar, Mipnei Takanat Mamzerim. Rabbi Yochanan says, because of the fixing of the problem of Mamzerim. Reish Lakish Amar, Mipnei Takanat Agunot. Reish Lakish says, because of the fixing of the problem of Agunot. In other words, these two answers, each are sort of a stand-in. Whoops, let me make these the same color. Each one gives sort of a stand-in for the words Tikkun Ha'olam. Here, Rabbi Yochanan says Rabban Gamliel was fixing the problem of mamzerim, of children who are the product of illicit sexual relations and then can't be full members of the Jewish community. And Reish Lakish says that Rabban Gamliel's amendment was fixing the problem of agunot, women who are trapped in their marriages without being given a get. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Mipnei Takanat Mamzerim. Rabbi Yochanan says because of the need to fix the problem of mamzerim. Savarla Kerav Nachman. He holds like Rav Nachman. De'amar, who says, Bifnei Shnayim, before two people. In other words, when Rabbi Yochanan is saying that the concern in the Mishnah, Rabban Gamliel's concern, is a concern about mamzerim, he is holding like Rav Nachman, who says that the Beit Din that's described in the Mishnah, the Beit Din that the husband would convene and then be mevatel the get in front of, was a Beit Din of two people. And I'm going to say that this is the explanation, or this kicks off an explanation, and the De'amar gives the proof text for the explanation, the proof text being the information about Rav Nachman, and then we go back to the explanation over here. Ubei trei leitel hukala, literally a house of two, a Beit Din that only has two people on it, does not have a voice. V'hi lo shama'a, and she won't hear. V'lo yada, and she won't know. V'azla uminsaba, and she'll go and get married. V'ika mamzerim, and there are mamzerim, or there will be mamzerim. In other words, the reason that Rabbi Yochanan thinks that there's a problem of mamzerim that needs to be fixed is because he believes, like Rav Nachman, that a Beit Din that is the Beit Din that would be used to be mevatel the get is a Beit Din of two people. And when there's a Beit Din of two people, the word does not get out. She won't hear about it. She won't know that she really is still married. She'll think she's divorced. She'll go get married, and there will be mamzerim. And so Rabbi Yochanan would tell you, according to the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan would tell you that by eliminating the ability to make this Beit Din and be mevatel the get in this way, you're reducing the number of mamzerim in the world. V'reish Lakish Amar, Mipnei Takanat Agunot. Savar la Kerav Shesha. De'amar, Bifnei Shalosh. So Reish Lakish says, because of the takana of agunot, because of the need to fix the problem of agunot, he holds like Rav Sheshet. So again, I would say this is the beginning of the explanation. De'amar, this is the proof text. Rav Sheshet says that this Beit Din that would be convened in order to nullify the get was a Beit Din of three people. Ubei tlate itlahu kala. And a Beit Din of three people has a voice. V'shama'a, she'll hear. V'yada, she'll know. V'lo minsaba, and she won't get married. V'takanat agunot hu de'ika. So she will know that she is not married, that she's not divorced. She will know that she's still married, and she will not remarry. She'll be an aguna. And the problem here is that it seems to be that Reish Lakish would say that the ability to make that Beit Din makes it too easy for him to revoke the get and makes it too easy for him to keep her as an aguna. And that's why getting rid of the ability to make this Beit Din will reduce the number of agunot in this world. That is how Rashi understands it. Rashi says, Takanat agunot hu de'ika. There is the fixing or the amending of the problem of agunot. De'itzarchine leilech acharav. Because he, the husband, will have to go after him, the shaliach, or lishloach shaliach, or send a second shaliach, v'hu lo yitrach b'chol ela b'shvil agna. And he won't work that hard. The husband won't bother himself that much just in order to make her an aguna. In other words, the Beit Din system made it too easy for him to make her an aguna. As soon as we make it a little bit harder, where he has to actually do the work himself, he won't do it, or he won't do it as frequently, right? The husband will be less likely to do it, and so we'll have reduced the number of agunot in the world. Those are the two answers to the question of Ma'im Bifnei Tikkun Ha'olam. Tanu Rabbanan, our rabbis taught in a Breita, Batlo Mevutal. If he nullifies it, it is nullified. Meaning, in a post-Takana world, even after Rabban Gamliel said, Lo Yuhu Osin Ken, if the man does actually convene the Beit Din and say this get is batel, it is in fact mevutal, the get is in fact nullified, it still works. Divrei Rebbe. Those are the words of Rebbe. Rashbag Omer, Eino yachol lo levatzlo v'lo lahosif al tna'o. He cannot be mevatel the get via Beit Din. He can't add to his condition. If he had put any conditions on the get, he can't change those after the fact. She'im ken ma koach Beit Din yafeh? Question mark, exclamation point. Because if so, if we would allow him to change the get, what good is the power of the Beit Din? What good is the power of the Beit Din? Meaning, what good is the power of Rabban Gamliel's Beit Din if it doesn't actually change anything? Rabban Gamliel amended the law. We should have to stick to that. We shouldn't say that even after the fact, this kind of Beit Din trick still works. This whole thing is a Breita, and so I'm highlighting it in red. And I think I'll leave it at that. This really functions as it's a statement. It's a new piece of information for us. You could further divide this by colors and give Rebbe one color and Rashbag another color. I'm not going to do that here. The Gemara now has a question about the Breita. Umi ikamire de midoraita batel gita. Is there a thing where on a Torah level, from the Torah, the get is nullified? Umishum ma koach Beit Din yafeh. And because of the concept of what good is the power of the Beit Din, Sharinan Eshet Ish La'alma, we permit a married woman to the world? Question mark, exclamation point. In other words, could we really ever have a case where on a Torah level, this woman has been divorced? The process has happened. The woman has not been divorced. On a basic level, the man has nullified the get, and so on a Torah level, she is still married. He did what he was supposed to do. He completed the process as laid out in earlier sources. He started to send the get, but then he sent a shaliach to override the get, and he created a Beit Din in the place where he was, and he just nullified the get. On a Torah level, he has nullified the get. But because we have this idea that Rabban Gamliel's Beit Din should be powerful enough to make a takana, or any Beit Din, right, should be powerful enough to make a takana, we're going to say that this married woman is permitted to the world. In other words, are we really going to let her remarry? Midoraita, this man did everything he was supposed to do to be mevatel the get, which apparently is just convening a Beit Din and saying the get is batel. That works. The Mishnah tells us that works. But then Rabban Gamliel came in and made a takana. Are we really going to let his takana override the baseline halacha? It would be one thing to say, okay, he made a takana just that you shouldn't do it. But it's another thing to say, he made a takana and it's so strong that it actually changes the law, and we don't. Now, if a man were to try doing this Beit Din thing, we would say it doesn't work at all. That's a much more radical idea, and the Gemara is saying, can you really say that the Beit Din can override a deraita? This is a question or a challenge. It's really more of a challenge than a question. And the answer is, yes, that is exactly what I would say. I would say that a Beit Din can override the power of the Torah when it comes to marriage and divorce. Kol de Mekadesh, Adata de Rabbanan Mekadesh. Anyone who marries someone, any man who engages a woman, engages her on the authority of the rabbis. Va'afki'inu Rabbanan l'kiddushin mineh. And the rabbis have removed the kiddushin from him. In other words, yes, in fact, every time somebody gets married, they get married Kedat Moshe Yisrael. And so because it happens under rabbinic authority, the rabbis also have the authority to get rid of the kiddushin. And that is exactly what Rashi says. Just going down to that Rashi. Adat Rabbanan Mekadesh, Lihiyot Kiddushin Chalin Kedat Moshe Yisrael. The Kiddushin are Chal, the Kiddushin take effect in accordance with the laws of Moshe and Yisrael. Shehinhigu Chachmei Yisrael, that the sages of Israel enacted or put into practice. That's the whole premise of marriage, is that it's Kedat Moshe Yisrael. V'harei hem amru sheyafkiu kol kiddushin sheb'Yisrael al yedei get kazeh. And they are the ones who said, they made the marriage law so they can make divorce law. They say that we remove all kiddushin in Israel, we remove all Jewish kiddushin based on a get like this. Hilkach pake sha'almanat ken kitcha. Therefore, the kiddushin are in fact removed because he married her almanat on condition that the rabbi's laws would be in effect. When he actually married her, he said, I marry you, Hare ani mikadesh, right? I am enacting this kiddushin, Hare mikudeshet le, Kedat Moshe Yisrael, in accordance with the laws. And that means that he got married in accordance with rabbinic law, and the rabbis therefore are given the power to dissolve the kiddushin. Afki'inhu rabbanan l'kiddushin mineh, they've removed the kiddushin or dissolved the kiddushin. Amrle Ravina Ravashi. Ravina says to Ravashi, in response to this idea that comes from the Stam of the Gemara, Tinach de Kaddish bekaspa. It works out, we can accept this if he married her using money, if he betrothed her using money. Kaddish bebia mai ikal amemar. But if he did kiddushin with sex, if he married her via having sex with her, what is there to say? Or what about a case where he marries her using sex? In other words, the simple or simplest understanding of this seems to be, okay, it's one thing to say that if he married her with money, we can go back and say, no, they weren't really married. But how are you going to undo the sex if they got married having sex? And this is at least the first explanation that Rashi gives. Tinach de Kaddish bekaspa, ikal amemar afki'inhu l'kiddushin beget divrehen. We can accept this if he marries her with money. Ikal amemar, there is to say, or we can say about this, afki'inhu l'kiddushin beget divrehen. They removed the kiddushin with a rabbinic get. Divrehen, their words, a get according to their words is the rabbi's words. Ve'amru, and they said, lehave me'ot l'mafreya matana. Let the money be retroactively a gift. So at the time, we thought this money, the transfer of this property, was what made them married, and now we're going back and say, oh no, in retrospect it was just a gift. Umimela paku, and therefore automatically the kiddushin are undone. Shaharei keshikidesh amanat ken kidesh, because when he married her on condition that would be the case, on condition that the rabbis have this power. But what are we going to say if they got married with sex? We can't go back and undo that. And the answer is, Shavyuha Rabbanan lebi'ilato be'ilat znut. The rabbis equated his sex, the sex that he had with her, to just promiscuous sex, sex that happens outside of marriage. In other words, they can't undo the fact that they had sex, but they go back and say, oh no, that wasn't sex for the purpose of kiddushin, that was just sex for the purpose of sex. So either way, no matter how you look at it, the rabbis have the capacity to retroactively undo the marriage, to retroactively say, you know what, you were never really married. And so we end up saying that the rabbis do in fact have the power to override a marriage. And so It makes sense then to say, by extension, that the rabbis have the power, in this case Rabban Gamliel, has the power to say she's really not married. He tried to be mevatel the get, but we override that power. The Takana overrides that power. That again is how Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, Rashbag, understands the world post Takana. Okay, we'll stop there.